ìmọ́lẹ̀ ògo adúláwọ̀. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo wa níbikíbi tí ẹ ti láǹfààní àti fẹ́ gbọ́ wa tí ẹ ti fẹ́ wò wá ní wákàtí. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fọkàn wa balẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kí ni ká fọkàn balẹ̀. Kò sí tó ń bọ̀ lókè tí kò ní wálẹ̀, àmọ́ eléyìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ àwa la máa jẹ àǹfààní ẹ̀. Lóòótọ́ gbogbo wa la ti gbọ́ ìròyìn tó ń lọ káàkiri. I will be speaking from the statement released by our father, the emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye. And I'm sure a lot of you must have read that statement. But it is also important that we release that statement officially and to give assurance to every sons and daughters of Yoruba across the world that this is not the time for us to get panic. This is not the time for us to relent. This is the time for us to stay strong and remain absolute strong. And also, this is a time that we must now, from every part of the world, and this is the message from Professor Banji Akintoye, to start picketing to all the embassy, but most precisely the German embassy and the Benin embassy around the world. Aka statement tí Baba wa Akintoye tí wọ́n gbé jáde láti àárọ̀. Lóòótọ́ ohun wà pé kó má ṣẹlẹ̀, àmọ́ ohun Ọlọ́run bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, but it is not the end of it at all. I don't have to go into all the details, but what I can assure every sons and daughters of Yoruba this evening is that we must remain calm. We must remain calm and remain focused. Just as we have so many things in our hands. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa rántí pé 1st of July, the federal government of Nigeria wanted to assassinate Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. And that means his life was now threatened by the federal government of Nigeria. Not just threatened, the federal government also, for no reason, decided to put him on a wanted list. When we have a country full of different drama on a daily basis. But yet, the federal government of Nigeria is not interested in all that. The federal government is more interested in the life of Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Igboho Sha. And we must remember that all the time. That his life has been in danger in the hands of the federal government. His life has become danger just because the federal government believes that he has the power to take him out. But one day, ẹni tí Ọlọ́run ò bá ti mú, ẹ̀dá ọmọ Ádámọ̀ kankan ò lè mú. Lóòótọ́, tí gbogbo wa tí a gbọ́ ìròyìn tó ṣẹlẹ̀, abani nínú jẹ́, abani lọ́kàn jẹ́, á dàbí ìgbà tí ẹ pé ayé fẹ́ sọ̀kalẹ̀. But ayé tó fẹ́ sọ̀kalẹ̀ ni pé Yorùbá nation tí gbogbo wa ń sọ pé a fẹ́, òun nìkan ló lè gbà wá nísìn. Because everybody knows that the country called Nigeria has become danger to the life of millions of Nigerians, and that is why we are all saying that we have had enough of the contraction. This is not the time to blame. This is not the time to point finger. This is the time to tell the whole world that Nigeria is going into the genocide and the genocide that has been taking place for so long. So, kí ló wá ń jẹ́ kí gbogbo wa wá dàbí bàtẹ́ pé in tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ nísìn àwa fẹ́ jẹ́ kí ìrẹ̀wẹ̀sì kó kó sí wa lára. Àsìkò yẹn kọ́ ló yẹ kí rẹ̀wẹ̀sì kó sí wa lára. Nígbà tí bàbá Akíntóyè tí àwọn náà gbọ́, wọ́n dìde ní ọ̀jọ̀gọ́ òru, wọ́n gbé gbogbo ìgbésẹ̀ tọmọ Yorùbá láti gbé. Ìgbésẹ̀ wo ni wọ́n fẹ́ gbé nísìn ní wákàtí òun ni kó máa ronú sí. Ìgbésẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ gbé, this is the time that every single one of us must prepare to understand that we are all in danger. It is not about Chief Sunday Igboho nìkan. You might think his life is the one in danger. Your life, my life is in danger as well. But let's first read that statement and let us remain prayerful. Focus. Chief Sunday Igboho is fine. I can tell you that. 1528. And this was a statement released at about a few hours from our father, Professor Banji Akintoye. Igboho, there is a strong possibility that extradition request of Nigerian government may be rejected by the Benin Republic by Professor Banji Akintoye. Says leading lawyers in Benin Republic are now in charge. 2021. A renowned historian and the leader of the umbrella body of Yoruba self-determination groups, Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye, has confirmed the arrest of the Yoruba freedom fighter Chief Sunday Adeyemo, fondly called Sunday Igboho, in Benin Republic. Akintoye, however, said he, alongside others Yoruba patriots, Sunday Adeyemo, fondly called Igboho, had been arrested at the Cotonou airport. I and the other Yoruba patriots who are immediately available are now working to provide the assistance necessary to ensure that nobody will be able to do him anything unlawful or primitive, and to prevent him from being extradited into Nigeria, which is strongly possible. Fortunately, Benin Republic is reliable, a land of law, where the authorities responsibly obey the law. We have secured the service of a leading and highly respected lawyer whom we can confidently rely on. What the situation now calls for is that the Yoruba nation at home and in diaspora must stand strong, resolve that neither Sunday Igboho nor any other Yoruba person will henceforth be subjected to inhumane and demonizing treatment of any kind. We Yoruba nation are, by the grace of God, a very strong nation. We must arise now to show that strength. For a start, we must all see to it now that Sunday Igboho will get his freedom back, so as to be able to move and operate as a free person. We all know he has committed no crime. We know that some people are trying to suppress or even eliminate him only because he stood up to defend his kinsmen, women, and children who are being massively killed and raped in their ancestral homeland, who are having the assets and means of livelihood destroyed, and who are facing cleansing and even genocide without having the benefit of protection by the rules of their country. We know furthermore that for the protection of his people who are being brutalized, he has joined hands with many of his brethren to take the legal appropriate step, namely to seek the intervention of the International Criminal Court. And that, if the federal government is not looking for you in Nigeria, the Boko Haram are waiting for you. The Fulani X-Men terrorists are waiting for you. Everything can easily kill you in Nigeria, and part of that is the hospital. So people need to understand, and we will say it categorically again, that Chief Sunday Igboho is not a criminal, and he has never been. And that is why every one of us must all stand up with formidable force. And that starts from tomorrow, when the mega rally takes place in central London. This is not the time that we are going to back down. We will make sure we get his freedom back for him as quickly as possible. We will stand with him shoulder to shoulder, just the same way he has stood with us shoulder to shoulder. We will continue to be with him in prayer. But I can say categorically, he is doing very well. And that is more than enough for every one of us to understand that the pressure, let's keep the pressure down and now focus on the reality. The reality is the federal government of Nigeria wants every single source of Yoruba to become a slave on their land. And that is something we will not allow and we will not tolerate. And that is why somebody like Professor Banji Akintoye have stand firm at the age of 86, saying that the only way out of Nigeria is for us to have our own independent nation. This is not about restructuring. But some of us, situation of things in the country, you have not, because the situation is not how you think about it. I don't have to go into all the details. The legal representative from around the world, just like we have done already, we've taken the federal government to the International Criminal Court just before this incident that took place. We have proven to the International Criminal Court that the federal government is on the lives of every single one of us. But we are not ready to back down. We are not ready to give in. And we are not ready to negotiate because he does not want to negotiate. So his life was put into something to eliminate and terminate. And it over war ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní 1st of July. If you go back and review every details of the incident and the atrocity that led to 12 Yorubas hanging right inside the DSS underground cells, we will understand that it was not just saved by our Creator, but it will also be saved at this particular time. And let us also remember, we are in a kind of a struggle. And in every struggle, so many things will happen to different people and different individuals at different times. Nínú struggle yìí, a máa ti láwọn tó ti kú. Nínú struggle yìí, àti láwọn tí oríṣiríṣi ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ti ṣẹlẹ̀ sí. But that is not going to give us any back out. And we will stand with Chief Sunday Igboho and his family. And likewise, all his associates. Whatever you have read, whatever you have listened to, your focus should be federal government wants to terminate and assassinate Chief Sunday Igboho. That is all we must remember all the time. The federal government does not want the wish and the will of Nigerians, not to talk of the Yorubas. Nigeria, the 6th largest crude oil producer, but the #1 capital poverty of the world. Take note of that. That means as I speak right now, millions of Nigerians do not have 3 square meals on a daily basis. and their chances to survive within a particular time is very, very slim. Bàbá ń wo ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nínú Nàìjíríà lójoojúmọ́. Just under 48 hours, the terrorists had the very audacity to take down the Nigerian aircraft. Have you ever thought about that? Millions of people have been killed. Thousands of us cannot return back home. Because there is no house anymore to go back to. All that is what we must continue to remember, that this is what Chief Sunday Igboho stands for. This is what it stands for. So that you and myself can have peace of mind at the time we get out of Nigeria. But a lot of people might not understand that. Àwọn èèyàn púpọ̀ get message yẹn. Wọ́n wò gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tó jẹ́ aláǹtakò. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí ẹni tí kò fẹ́ràn ìjọba Nàìjíríà. Nígbà tó mọ̀ pé ìjọba Nàìjíríà ó ṣe jàǹbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí tí wọ́n ti ń ṣe bọ̀ láti iye ọdún rẹpẹtẹ. The legal representatives are in charge. We'll be giving more updates when time permits. But all I can say is, it is not as bad as we might want to think about it. Oh yes, it could be very, very painful, but we must remain focused. Every one of us is affected, whether through what has happened or what has been happening in the past. Gbogbo wa pátápátá ló kàn. Gbogbo wa pátápátá ló bá lára lójijì. But òjijì tó bá wa kò ṣe nísìnyí. Nigeria has been torturing us for a very long time. And that is why Bàbá wa Chief Sunday Igboho Òòṣà sọ pé òun ò ní máa wò kí wọ́n rẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá jẹ. And that is what we must all think of. The news have been heard, but the remaining part now is what role you single-handedly, groups out, especially with the diaspora. We now have a big task on our hands. If we look at similar situation in the past, where different freedom fighters have also been affected one way or the other, whether